Before we start the season finale of season 3, we are going to look at the permutations for the championship. Looks like it's going to be a 2-horse race between Montoya and Rosa. Whoever finishes in front of the other wins the title, unless they both retire, and then Montoya will win the title by virtue of more wins. However, if both of them retire, Fisichella will then only need to get a 7th place to win the title, or if Fisichella wins, then both Montoya and Rosa will have to get at least 4th to stay ahead of Fisichella. Button is the rank outsider at the moment. He has to make hope that both Montoya and Rosa retire and that Fisichella doesn't come any higher than 6th place, and Button has to win the race in order for Button to win the championship. The constructors are looking a little bit more edgy. Like Jordan have already won the championship, but it's a fight between 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Jaguar are in the prime seat at the moment with being in 2nd place, but there is a 2-point gap between them and Renault. So Renault has to finish at least 2 positions in front of Jaguar to overtake Jaguar. Toyota, again, the rank outsider in this battle. They need both Jaguar and Renault to completely fail this race, and then they have to win the race to stand any chance of overtaking them. And also, the Jordan team requested me to put this before the start of the race. He requested it after the end of the race, and I completely forgot. But he's requested this for the start of the race. And now, over to the past me, because this is a pre-recording, after recording. We are ready for the race. Hope you enjoy it. Hello and welcome to the season finale of season 3 of the GPRO F1 Championship Challenge to 1999-2002. Here at the Hockenheimring Oval. It's a very special race. We've got 26 laps of the German track. So we're going to be here for quite a while. So sit back, relax, grab some popcorn, grab a beer or something, and enjoy the season finale as much as I probably will. We've got 4 drivers ready to take the championship. We've got Montoya, Rosa, Fisichella and Button all within a grasp of taking the championship. Only one of them can win. Will Rosa become a 2-time champion? Will Montoya round off the season in spectacular fashion with a title win? Will Fisichella go from nothing to hero? Or will Button please the Jordan team who are already Constructors champions and take the Drivers' Championship? He is the ranked outsider, 9 points behind Montoya and Rosa. They need both of them to not score. But we are slowly going through qualifying. Montoya is on pole, Young on 2nd place, Fisichella 3rd, Rosa 4th, Button 5th, Schumacher 6th, Hill 7th, Webber 8th, Michael Schumacher 7th, and Rune Barrichello is in 10th place. That is your top 10 for the race so far. Someone's just popped up. It's a Jos Verstappen who has popped up into 6th place. Now, the top 4 is not the only battle that we're going to be looking an eye on. Another battle is going to be between 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th between Frentzen, Barrichello, Michael Schumacher and Webber. Frentzen's got a 4-point lead over Barrichello, but Barrichello is only 4 points ahead of Webber in 12th place. Another battle is between 13, 14, 15 and 16 between Mazzacane, Alesi, Berti and Panis, who all have 5 points between all of them. And then over to the Constructors, Jaguar, Renault and Toyota are in a heated scrap between 2nd and 4th between Jaguar, Renault and Toyota. There's 10 points between all of them. And that is the end of the qualifying session. Young takes pole position in the dying embers of that qualifying session. From Montoya, Rosa was in 3rd, Fisichella 4th, Button 5th, Verstappen in 6th. All the drivers are within 3.7 seconds of each other. That's actually very good. Especially with the fact that Sato was 6 seconds away from the nearest driver in Spa. as we go over to the race now, as it's a very dry Hockenheimring, where we are ready to do battle. We have 26 laps of this track. We're expecting a lot of drivers to maybe risk a one stop, maybe go for a two stop. Two stop is the more desirable strategy in this race, we reckon. And away we go. Everyone gets off the line. That's fantastic. Young keeps hold of the lead. Is anyone going to battle for the lead? No, Young is going to keep hold of the lead. Montoya goes incredibly wide, lets De La Rosa through. That is key, because that's De La Rosa into the lead of the championship now, ahead of Montoya, as they all go down the front straight towards the Jim Clark curve. Verstappen is in 4th, Button 5th, Schumacher 6th, Webber 7th, Hill 8th, Barrichello 9th, Michael Schumacher in 10th. Then we've got Panis, Mazzacane, Alonso, Frentzen. We have Coulthard, Bertie, Alesi, Raikkonen and Sato bringing up the rear. None of them have done any rash moves at all, which is good because they've got to settle into this race. 26 laps, going to be very heavy on engines and brakes as we are going down towards the Jim Clark curves. Here we are, the Young going round the chicane for the first time. And then we go down the second line straight down towards the Ost curve. Young, De La Rosa, Juan Pablo Montoya, which means that it is going to be De La Rosa being a two-time champion, unless Montoya can get past Fisichella's also in this fight. Button at the moment not close enough at all to challenge. Button's actually behind Verstappen. So at the moment, all of these... So at the moment, De La Rosa are going to be world champion by 1 point over Montoya. But things can soon change. Fisichella in 4th place. Ideally, he needs to win this race and hopes that Montoya and De La Rosa come lower than 5th, I think 5th. Yeah, 5th. He's got 3 points behind at the moment. Button needs an absolute miracle. He needs these three guys to have an accident or something to stand any chance. But at the moment, De La Rosa is in the prime position at the moment, as we are finished the first lap of 26, doing 1 minute 50s. I reckon it's going to be about a 50-minute race, 50-minute race, I reckon. Down towards the Jim Clark curve for the second time. Button's in 6th. He's keeping hold of 6th place at the moment. Again, like I said, he needs a miracle. Behind him, last season's champion Ralf Schumacher is relinquishing his crown. It's a very valiant effort for Ralf Schumacher in his title defence. 58 points he has got. Hill could catch him, but I don't think he's going to. 9 points is the gap between Ralf Schumacher and Hill. And Hill is directly behind Ralf Schumacher at the moment. And that is Jos Verstappen. Jos Verstappen has spun out of the race. I presume it's a brake failure. That's going towards the Ost curve, I believe. In fact, it is just past the Ost curve. What's going to happen is it's going to brake failure before the Ost curve. Yes. And parks it nicely in the gravel trap. That's not going to trouble any of the drivers. And here comes the first retirement of this race. Verstappen. Sato overtakes Raikkonen. Raikkonen is in 19th place. Lazy 17th. Alonso 16th. They're braking hard at the centre curve. This breaks up the two long straights towards the stadium section. There's Coulthard in 14th. 13th is Mazzacane. To the right would be where the old track is. The new track, sorry. 11th is Panis. 10th place Barrichello as we go around the Sachs curve for the second time. A lot of these obviously going to be hoping to try and do this on 2, maybe 1, maybe 2 stops. It's definitely going to be more likely people are going to be 2 stopping this race. We shall soon see. Fisichella in 4th at the moment, Montoya in front in 3rd. Rosa in 2nd place, and the Jaguar is already 5 seconds behind Young at the moment. 314 kilometres as the brake hard for the Jim Clark curve. Young, we are back on board with our current leader. He's not going to be winning the title. He's too far back. He's not. He might pass Button, but it would involve Button to overtake. And we're on board with Montoya. He's got to overtake De La Rosa if he's got any chance of winning the title. But at the moment he's just not close enough. He's 7/10 behind. It's just nowhere near close enough. De La Rosa is doing the challenge of Montoya. Up the gears, gear 4, 5, 6 towards the stadium section of the track. Relative heavy braking up towards Sachs curve into the stadium. This is where all the crowd gathered. Left turn, then left right chicane in a very difficult braking zone here. It's continual radius pretty much, small break into the final corner and around. Alex Young with the fastest lap of the race so far, probably a 1:44 of some kind. Montoya is getting slightly closer, pulling away from Fisichella at the moment. Fisichella is not going to be winning the championship at the moment, but he's made a valiant effort all season. Now on board with Button, driving for the championship winning team on Jordan. On board with Ralph Schumacher now, winner of the last championship, Arrows and Ralph Schumacher. On board with Hill, driving for the world champion. He needs a miracle to go up into 6th place ahead of Ralph Schumacher. Webber currently in 8th. He has a little small fight between Michael Schumacher and Barrichello for 10th, 11th and 12th for the coveted top 10. The Ferraris currently sit 9th and 10th place at the moment. Got Panis in 11th in the BAR, Frentzen in 12th at the moment. But we've still got an awful long way to go in this race. 22 laps left to go. And that is David Coulthard out of this race, which means both McLarens are out. That is their season over and done with. Looks like a Lazy trying to overtake Alonso. Alonso, Lazy and Bertie all fighting with each other. All of them are Alonso's not close enough to these lot. Lazy and Bertie are close to each other in the championship. Lazy's on 17, Bertie's on 16, but Bertie would need to score at least a point to try to even have an attempt to overtake, but at the moment they're nowhere near the points. They'd have a few retirements in front in order to see anything. Alonso goes slightly wide. It might pave the way to a Lazy passing, and that is Raikkonen off the side of the track. Well, side of the track is still on the track, but he becomes the 3rd retirement of the race. Raikkonen with a engine failure. We're on board with Coulthard. This is how he retired. He was actually part of the battle between Bertie, Alonso and Lazy, and that looks like a locked brake there in the rear, just simply parking up the side of the road. That's also on the Ost curve. Both the McLarens retiring at the Ost curve, and he's been removed, being in a dangerous place. Young, there is 2nd and 3rd place just down the road. Young's coming into the stadium section a lot. Montoya just De La Rosa and Montoya just catching a glimpse of Young. He's got an 11-second lead at the moment. meaning that he's definitely not going to be trying for the one stop. He might even be attempting to free stop, who knows? Run lap 5 of 26. Down the pitch straight goes Alex Young. 142.6. He's on a man on the mission at the moment. De La Rosa is in second. Behind him, Montoya in third in the Toyota. Round the first corner, gear 4. Down towards the Jim Clark curve. Fisichella is in fourth in the Renault. At the moment, it is still De La Rosa winning the title, ahead of Montoya by a single point. Fisichella will keep hold of third, Button will be in fourth, Young fifth, Ralf Schumacher sixth, Hill seventh. Verstappen, actually everyone below him will stay in their positions. We've got Michael Schumacher and Barrichello currently finishing on the same amount of points of 28. In the constructors, Jordan have already won. Jaguar will still be in second place. Renault will still be in third, and Toyota will still be in fourth. BAR of Panis in 11th. BAR in a tussle between them and Sauber at the moment. Actually, Sauber are going to be ahead of BAR at the moment because Webber is currently in 8th place. They'll go up to 31 points. Mazzacane in 13th place in the BAR. Bertie in 14th in the Jaguar, 15th is Alonso, 16th for Lazy, 17th Sato. Sato, your last remaining driver currently on track. Someone has gone into the pits. It is going to be Alex Young. Alex Young is the first to blink. BAR's ready for in the pits as well. But Alex Young is the first driver to make a pit stop. Is this going to be for a 1-2 or is this going to be for a 2 or 3 stop? De La Rosa takes the lead and away goes Young. Look, I'm not actually sure what sort of strategy Young is on. He is fueled for I think 7 laps. So he's going to have to do a long last stint if he's going to do it on a 2 stop. He might be looking at a 3 stop. Will Young, I didn't actually imagine a 3 stop would work on this track. It might work, we shall soon see. But Young comes back out in 5th. Button 4th in the Jordan. So now the top 4. In fact, the top 7 in the race are your top 7 standings. The only difference, well actually it's in perfect standing order, the final standings, with De La Rosa leading, Montoya in second. All 5 cars are now on the same straight. Montoya has a little look down the inside of De La Rosa, but nothing doing there. De La Rosa still holding on to the lead at the moment. He's only won 1 race. It's the consistency that the Jaguars have had that has propelled him into title contention. Montoya's looking left, looking right, still trying to overtake the BAR. The BAR? The Jaguar of De La Rosa. De La Rosa looking to become the first 2-time champion, official 2-time champion. He won the Season 2 beta, but he'll be an official 2-time champion. Round the last corner to start lap 8. De La Rosa is a 6th, 10th lead over Montoya. Fisichella is in 3rd with 4.8. Button 4th. Young 5th. 6th is going to be Ralf Schumacher. 7th Hill. 8th Webber. 9th Schumacher. 10th Barrichello. 11th Frentzen. 12th is Mazzacane. So Panis was the person that pitted in the BAR. 13th is quite far back then. 13th is Bertie. 14th Alonso. 15th for Lazy. 16th I imagine Sato. And 17th is going to be Olivier Panis, who has made his pit stop. He's made 1 pit stop already. He might be 2 stopping, he might be 3 stopping. We actually have no idea. Still on board with De La Rosa, being followed closely by Montoya. Down towards the centre curve. out of the centre curve. He's got a 4/10 lead. Has De La Rosa. Is Montoya going to try an overtake? Maybe breaking down to gear 3. Montoya goes slightly wide. When I say slightly wide, very wide. Lost quite a bit of time. That looked like 5/10 he lost on De La Rosa. Fisichella in 3rd in the Renault. 4th Button, 5th Young. There is Alex Young. BAR ready in the pits. It's going to be for Matsukane. He's the only other driver not to pit in the BAR garage. Hill is in 7th. Webber 8th. Michael Schumacher is in 9th. And Barrichello stays in 10th for the time being. That's Minardi in the pits as well. It's going to be for Sato. Again, he's the only other driver in that team not to have pitted. Matsukane, as predicted, goes into the pits. Bertie, 13th in the Jaguar. He's going to take hold of 12th place. Alonso's in 14th. Lazy 15th. Sato, Matsukane. So the bottom 2 is going to be BAR. Looks like Renault's getting ready in the pits as well. And the Lazy's already gone past. So I believe Fisichella is going to be heading into the pits this lap if Renault are ready. Sato being serviced now in the Minardi. He's had a very tough season as Sato, the only pointless driver. And there he goes, 10.2 second pit stop for Sato. He's on a 2-stop strategy. And there is De La Rosa. Montoya directly behind. Still biding his time. Still waiting for an opportunity to pass. They might have to do it in the pit stops. Round the final few corners. To say how long the lap is, there's very few corners. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 16 corners, but it doesn't feel like there's 16 corners. I'm bored with Ralph Schumacher. Hill 7th. Renault's ready in the pits. It's actually going to be for a Lazy, not Fisichella. Webber in 8th. Schumacher in 9th. Barrichello diving into the pits in 10th. Frentzen in the pits in 11th. Battle of the pit crews now between the Ferrari and the Arrows. They're on the same side of the pit lane. Ferrari right at the end of the pit lane. Arrows third to last. Minardi are the second to last team. Fueling up. How long are they going to fuel up that Arrows for? It's going to be for 8 laps. Out go the Arrows, and the Ferrari is not come out. So Arrows of Frentzen is ahead of Barrichello. He also got out ahead of Matsukane in 14th place. So Frentzen's in 12th, Barrichello 13th, and Matsukane in 14th. Panis is the biggest loser out of all these. He is behind all of them after being ahead of all of them, apart from Barrichello. Jaguar are ready in the pits. I'm not sure who this is going to be for. A Lazy 16th, Sato 17th. De La Rosa currently leading the race. Go around a double left hand down it is. For De La Rosa. De La Rosa blinks. He's going into the pit. He's the first person to go to. Montoya's in the pits as well. Both of them head to the pits at the same time. De La Rosa leading. Montoya is in second place. What are these fuel strategies going to be? Giancarlo Fisichella doesn't pit. Neither does Young, obviously. Who is going to come out ahead? Alonso. Montoya still being fueled. 8 laps. 9 laps. Away he goes. 11.7 is De La Rosa's not coming. De La Rosa's not come out. De La Rosa's still being held in the pits. That has put Montoya in the prime position to win the championship. De La Rosa being held in the pits for much longer. He's been fueled much heavier than Montoya. That's going to have massive implications at the moment. Montoya needs to have such a gap. He's got 3.4 second gap at the moment. He needs to have a lot more. All of a sudden, it's gotten interesting. Bertie 9th, Alonso 10th. A lot of these have not pitted. As for now, Hill 11th, Frentzen 12th. It is Barrichello in 13th. 14th Mazzacane, 15th Panis. 16th for Lazy and Sato in 17th place, but we don't care about 16th and 17th place. Fisichella currently leads. At the moment, Fisichella is winning the championship. He's in prime position at the moment to win this championship if he keeps hold of the lead. He's not going to because he hasn't pitted. But we should give a special mention to Fisichella for leading the championship at this current stage. Into the pits goes Fisichella. Button is also into the pits. Someone has carried on. It's going to be Alex Young that's going to carry on. Alex Young will keep hold of the lead. He'll take back the lead that he's already got now. How long are these going to be fueled for? Change of all 4 tyres. Off the jacks they go. Ralf Schumacher's also going into the pits for his first stop. Out goes the fuel hose. Fisichella keeps hold of the lead in front of Button. Now this is a turn up for the books. Fisichella is ahead of De La Rosa. But he's not got a good exit out of the pit lane. Is De La Rosa going to have a go down the inside of the Jim Clark curve? It's going to be a brave move. No, he comes back into the slipstream. De La Rosa, is he going to outbrake Fisichella? No, he isn't. Now how the tables have turned in this championship. Montoya has gone from looking down and out of it to now all of a sudden looking the favourite to win the championship. Unbelievable scenes now in Germany. He's gone... De La Rosa's, the Jaguar team are completely blown it at the moment with the strategy. Montoya fueled for lighter, so De La Rosa's going to have. De La Rosa might have to try and make the 2-stop count, but I don't think he's going to. Montoya is in second at the moment in the Toyota. He's got a 22-second lead to catch up to. Montoya has flown away. He's 5 seconds ahead of all of the 2 drivers behind him. Young's actually entering the pits at the moment, so he might actually be on a 3-stop strategy, which is crazy to think. This race has all of a sudden gone rather interesting at the moment. Change of all 4 tyres. Is he going to get out ahead of Montoya? I don't think he is. There he goes. He's definitely on a 3-stop strategy. Montoya takes the lead. Young in second. There we go. Montoya, Young, Fisichella, De La Rosa, Button. Here is your top 5. I don't even know who's in 6th place at the moment. It might still be Ralf Schumacher, but I'm not entirely sure. Whoever, yes, it is Ralf Schumacher in 6th place. Who's in 7th? Hills is still in 7th. All these have pitted. Webber is in 8th. 9th is Michael Schumacher. 10th is Heinz-Harald Frentzen. I didn't even catch who was 11th and 12th. I think it was Barrichello and Mazzacane. 13th Panis, 14th Alonso. And we're on board with Button. Ralf Schumacher in 6th place. It's where he's going to finish in the championship at the moment. Hill in 7th. He's going to finish in 7th. He needs a miracle to happen if anything is going to occur. Webber is in 8th. Michael Schumacher in 9th. He's under pressure from Heinz-Harald Frentzen from behind. The 2 German drivers giving the German crowd something to cheer about. Frentzen goes for the move. At the Ost curve, he can't get the move to stick though. Michael Schumacher gets a better exit of the Ost curve. Barrichello in 11th place in the Ferrari. 12th Mazzacane. 13th is Olivier Panis in the BAR. Frentzen looking down the inside of Michael Schumacher. We've got some action, but we're on board with the wrong driver. On board with Alonso. 13th, 15th for the Jaguars. 16th for Lazy. 17th is Sato. I want to see if Frentzen passed Michael Schumacher. Can Mr. Director man, can we go back to that battle? BAR already in the pits from one of their drivers. 17th place Sato. Frentzen still behind Michael Schumacher for the time being, but Frentzen is all over Michael Schumacher. At some point, Frentzen is going to pass the German, for no doubt. He's not going to try in the first corner, is he? No way. Oh, he had a little look. He had a little look. But nothing doing there. This is the perfect opportunity for Frentzen to try and get past Michael Schumacher down towards the Jim Clark curve. He's gaining ever so slightly. The slight right hand King Schumacher's gone slightly defensive. Fisichella. Frentzen always a little touch there, but both of them keep hold of their position, and Michael Schumacher keeps hold of ninth at the moment. But Frenzen's had a fantastic run out of that corner. He's gaining a lot of time on Michael Schumacher. Is Frentzen going to finally make the move at the Ost curve? He's got the in, he's got the line, he's going to make it stick. Yes, he is. Frentzen makes the move on Michael Schumacher. Michael Schumacher's now under pressure from Barrichello. But Michael Schumacher loses position to Frentzen. The two German drivers giving the German crowd something to cheer about in this race. Both of them battling. And now Michael Schumacher and Barrichello are fighting for 10th and 11th. The final point. Hopefully no team orders will ruin this battle. Michael Schumacher is seriously struggling at this stage of the race. Barrichello going back in behind Michael Schumacher. Frentzen has just easily drove away from the two Ferraris. Mazzacane is right behind the two Ferraris. Nothing happening at the moment, no. But you can see that... Oh, right! Michael Schumacher spun! Michael Schumacher has spun and he looks to be out of the race. He looks to be out of the race. He just spun on his own. I don't know if he got a clip from Barrichello or not, but Michael Schumacher has retired. Held up Barrichello slightly. There we go. Here's a replay. What's going to happen here then? Michael Schumacher going down towards the final two corners. And he didn't get a touch. It just looks like a simple... It looks like the brakes must have locked. And we're on board with Barrichello. This is gonna... It's the rear... Looks like the rear tyres have just locked. Barrichello, quick reactions to make sure that he didn't crash into his teammate. Fisichella is actually pulling away from Pedro de la Rosa. That could be key. There's a 7-second gap between Fisichella and Young. De la Rosa is just... The Jaguar team have just thrown this championship away. He's completely thrown it away. Young in second. Montoya's got a 2.7 lead at the moment. Montoya's directly in front. Surely now Montoya is the favourite to win this championship. Round the Sachs curve, round down towards the final two corners. We're on lap 15 out of 26. Round the final corner, down the pit straight now goes the cars. Montoya leads in the Toyota, second Young. Slightly wide for Montoya that was, but down towards the Jim Clark curve. On board with potentially championship elect Juan Pablo Montoya. BAR already in the pits. It's going to be from Mazzacane. He's the only one not to have pitted in the BAR team. Oh, these two-stop races are awesome. We need more of these two-stop races. Look at what has happened in the two-stop races. It's absolutely brilliant. Board with Young now. He still has a chance to win this race. But they both have to make another pit stop. It depends on when both of them pit. Fisichella currently in third, De La Rosa in fourth. They've got pressure actually from Button in fifth. Ralf Schumacher is in sixth behind Hill, directly behind Ralf Schumacher in seventh. We could be seeing a Anglo-Saxon battle between Hill and Ralf Schumacher. Both of these rivals in the championship for sixth place. Hill's got no chance of beating Ralf Schumacher though. But we're going down towards the Senna S. down towards the braking point for the NRS. Heavy braking for Button. No, Hill. We're on board with Hill, not Button. Button's far down the road. And then the speedometer just climbs and climbs and climbs and climbs. Down towards the stadium section. Hill. Someone's got smoke coming from the back of their engine. That is Heinz-Howard Frentzen. Frentzen is out of the race now. He's blown the engine, which actually sends quite a few people into contention now for points. You know what points mean? Absolutely nothing, because the championship's over for all of them anyway. Young trying to lap Sato, his teammate. There goes Young. Fisichella in third in the Renault. De La Rosa, just no words can describe what De La Rosa must be feeling in his head right now. Button in fifth, Ralf Schumacher sixth, Hill directly behind. Five retirements so far: Raikkonen, Coulthard, Michael Schumacher, Frentzen and Verstappen all retired at the moment through various problems with the engine and the brakes. Frentzen had a good drive. He actually overtook someone, which is more than what could be said for the rest of them. Hill still looking to pass Ralf Schumacher. Montoya leads, Young second. And there's quite a bit of a gap to Fisichella, but Ralf Schumacher just swiping to the right to try and block Hill into the stadium section. Fourth place De La Rosa, fifth place Button, sixth place is the battle between Ralf Schumacher and Hill. Eighth is Webber, ninth Barrichello. I don't know who 10th is anymore, because quite a few cars have retired. It might be Bertie, or it could be one of the BARs. I'm not entirely sure. Renault already in the pits. It's going to be for, I presume, a Lazy, because he's the first person to go into the pits. Hill goes wide. Webber in 8th. It's going to be Barrichello in 9th. I don't know who's in 10th. It is Alonso at the moment. Alonso in 10th place. So both Toyotas scoring points. Lazy goes into the pits. Bertie is directly in front. So it looks like Alonso's got that 10th place covered, unless the BARs have a final shout. The Toyota team look to be ready for one of their cars. That could actually be for Montoya, because Alonso's already gone past, so I believe that Toyota crew is ready for Montoya. A Lazy fueled to what I presume is the end. Now, there he is, Montoya, the race leader, going into the pits now. Young takes hold of the lead. Now this is a key pit stop. He's obviously going to use positions to Fisichella and De La Rosa, but how much time can they gain on Montoya? Montoya's being fueled heavy. He's going to be fueled till the end. 12-second pit stop for Montoya. Now here's the key stint now for De La Rosa and Fisichella. Can both of them gain the time needed? More importantly, can De La Rosa gain the time needed? Because I don't think Fisichella is going to win this battle. Hill goes into the pits, which gives the advantage to Ralf Schumacher in the battle for 6th place. Montoya is in 5th, Button 4th in the Jordan. Sato looks to be trying to overtake De La Rosa. What a madman! Go on, Sato! No! Sato does not try and overtake De La Rosa. It's got to go all wrong if Sato is trying to overtake you. It just has to. Young currently leads, but it looks like the Minardi team are ready for him in the pits. He's going for the free. He's definitely going for the free stop. Is Young? Can Young make this free stop work? That is the question. It'd be terrific if Young makes this free stop work. He's got a lazy directly in front. Well, that 19 out of 26. As Young dives right into the pits. And down to 80 kilometers an hour. We can have a breather now. Will Young get out ahead of Montoya? That is the key battle. The key battle for the race win. Can Young get in front of Montoya? Change of all 4 tyres. De La Rosa goes past. Fisichella is in the pits. Out they go. Out goes Young. He goes up through the gears. Montoya's ahead. Montoya is ahead. Now, Fisichella has pitted. This will give a good indication to where De La Rosa will come out. And it looks like De La Rosa is going to be nowhere near Montoya. Fisichella's 12 seconds behind Young. Montoya looks set to win this race now. Button in second. BR ready in the pits. So their cars are going for the free stop. De La Rosa leads the German Grand Prix now. Down towards the centre curve. Button second, Montoya third, Young in fourth. Fisichella down in fifth now. Webber is in sixth. So Ralf Schumacher has made a pit stop. Alonso is in seventh. Alonso in seventh. Ralf Schumacher is in eighth at the moment. 4 seconds ahead of Damon Hill. It's probably going to remain the same between Ralf Schumacher and Hill. Bertie currently occupying 10th position, but I don't think he's going to make it to the end, which will promote Barrichello into 10th. Mazzacane is directly behind Barrichello. At the moment, Mazzacane in 12th in the BAR, 13th Alesi, 14th Panis, 15th Sato, with one Pablo Montoya coming up to lap. Button goes into the pits for his final pit stop. Someone's ready in the pits. Sauber team look like they're getting ready in the pits for one of their drivers. Out they go. Toyota ready in the pits. That's going to be for Alonso. Young Fisichella goes past. So Button slots in behind. Fisichella is in fifth at the moment. But De La Rosa is still out there. De La Rosa surely will have to pit again before the end of the race. Sato gets passed by Montoya. Heavy braking now. Young trying to overtake his teammate at the last curve by out-braking him. It's not going to work, mate. In fact, Sato is making life hard for his teammate. Away he goes. But Montoya second in the Toyota. Currently not winning the championship because Pedro De La Rosa is in front. But the Jaguar team are ready for their driver. Pedro De La Rosa has done all he can. He's done everything he can and must need to. 15 seconds is the gap between the two drivers. Into the pits goes Pedro De La Rosa. Has he made the in-lap count? I don't think it's going to be enough, unfortunately, for De La Rosa. Into the pits he goes. Change of all 4 tyres. Montoya is going to already be past the pits. There goes Montoya. There goes Young. That's a back marker as Sato is well ahead of Fisichella. So he's now in third place. Now, 6 seconds is the gap between glory and second place. We shall soon see who comes out victorious. Montoya is in prime position. Fisichella in 4th, Button 5th. There are all these top 5 well ahead of 6th placed Ralf Schumacher Bertie directly behind. He's in front of Hill at the moment. Webber in 9th. He's going to leap. They're going to leapfrog Sauber at this current stage. They're going to leapfrog BAR at this current stage. I'm sorry. 10th, Barrichello. 11th is Alonso. Both of these probably going to be promoted after Bertie makes his pit stop. Sato ready to go into the pits for the 3rd and final time. Alesi 13th. 14th is Panis. Very quiet races between the back markers. Sato 15th. He's going to go into the pits. Frentzen. The retirements. Frentzen. Michael Schumacher. Raikkonen. Coulthard and Verstappen. All your retirements. We're on board with Montoya. Down towards turn. I don't even know where that is. That's the Ost curve he's going down towards. Round the Ost curve. Is the Ost curve? No, it's that's the Jim Clark curve. We have lost audio, which is rather unfortunate. Don't know where the audio's gone, but we have lost all signs of audio. So I'm completely clueless now as to who's going into the pits or who's not. Under pressure now for me. Montoya leading from Young. I like the sound of the engine. I want the engine back. Where's the engine gone? I'm not even going to hear the engineer to see who's retired. Montoya leads from Young. Round. This is the Senna curve. I'm distracted now. Having those sounds weird. I'm distracted. So Montoya, Young. Round with the stadium section towards Sachs curve. Oh, there's the sound. We've got sound back. Yeah, Young 2nd in the Minardi. 3rd place, De La Rosa in the Jaguar. Fisichella in 4th. There is Fisichella in 4th. Button 5th in the Jordan. Ralf Schumacher is in 6th in the Arrows. Nearly 30 seconds behind Button. But he's well ahead of Hill is Schumacher, going down towards the final 3 laps of the season 3 championship. Hill 7th in the Jordan, 8th Webber in the Sauber. Heavy braking for Hill. Webber 8th, Barrichello 9th. Alonso is in 10th place. He is ahead of Bertie by about 9 seconds. The top 10 looks set at the moment, but don't count out these final 3 laps. Cars can fail in the final 3 laps. Mazzacane in 12th, 13th Alesi. Panis 14th, and Sato is in no man's land in 15th place. It's a shame because we thought there was a 3-second gap between the leaders and the second and the back marker, but we are aboard with Montoya now. Some beautiful shots. The chase cam, not the chase cam, the well, it's sort of like a chase cam, but Montoya is chasing the camera. See how much his head works. Go around these corners, down the pit straight for the penultimate lap. The penultimate, and that's Ralf Schumacher. Ralf Schumacher retires. He's looking so set for 6th place, but the season 2 champion is out of the German Grand Prix. It's both arrows out of the German Grand Prix. It's one of the first time this season, and both arrows have retired from the Grand Prix. But that's put everything up in the spanners. I had the standings up and everything. Hill in 6th. He's still not going to be able to catch Ralf Schumacher, is Hill? Despite the retirement. Hill has to win this race now. That's never going to happen. Hill's going to put more unlikely finish in 6th place. I just jinxed people with saying that the points look set. And then Ralf Schumacher goes and blows his engine. Webber in 7th, that just gives him more points. He might actually pass Michael Schumacher. He's going to pass Michael Schumacher now at this rate. Bertie is going to give me a headache because that'll put 3 drivers up onto 17 points. Now Montoya is getting helped up by a lazy at the moment. It's not going to help De La Rosa in any way, shape or form. It might help Young though, but Young's stuck behind Panis. Young's overtaken Panis. Is Young going to overtake a lazy? Yes, he is. We're on to the final lap of the German Grand Prix. Young goes so wide, he's off into Narnia. Second, Young. 3rd place is De La Rosa, who's catching up by the right rate of knots. Montoya leads by 1 second. Takuma Sato now retires from the race. Takuma Sato, smoke billowing out of that Minardi. He comes the 7th retirement of the race. We're on board now. Montoya is going around the Ost curve for the 26th and final time. Round the long sweeping right-hander. Down towards the Senna curve. There is De La Rosa hunting down the Colombian. Round the Senna curve goes Montoya. Still on board with Montoya now. Down towards the stadium section for the 26th and final time. I think it's safe to assume what's going to happen here. So, he won the first 2 rounds of the championship. He looked all set to be a favourite for the championship. He had such a battle. The string of retirements and mistakes led to De La Rosa to leave. But it was not going to be enough as Juan Pablo Montoya becomes your Season 3 champion. The Toyota team in the background are celebrating like mad. Young finishes in 2nd. De La Rosa, your Season 1 champion, cannot do enough. He finishes in 3rd place, does De La Rosa. 4th, Fisichella. 5th, Button has finished 5th. And we've got a long wait for the rest of the cars to finish. And whilst we have the long wait, I'm going to work out all of the points. We're waiting for Hill to finish in 5th place. There is Hill. He will finish in 6th place. Sorry. He got 5 points. It's not going to be anywhere near enough to catch Ralf Schumacher. Ralf Schumacher finishes in 58 points. Hill finishes on 54. But De La Rosa runners up for the 2nd year in a row are Jaguar. But they can breathe a sigh of relief for the fact that they do hang on to 2nd place in the Constructors' Championship by virtue of scoring 9 points to finish on 119 points. Renault finishes with 115 and Toyota finishes on 110. So it was as you are for the point scorers. Alazi 12th, Panis 13th. But we'll go back on board with your German race winner and your Season 3 champion. The Colombian driving for Toyota, Juan Pablo Montoya. Congratulations to the Colombian. 3 different winners of the championship in 3 seasons. Maybe we'll make it 4 out of 4 with all the rule changes that are happening. Webber will finish above of Michael Schumacher in the championship. Barrichello comes to within 1 point of beating Frentzen, but doesn't quite beat Frentzen. Alonso actually jumps above Coulthard in 17th place. Bertie has given himself a headache because there's now 3 drivers all on 17 points. In the Constructors, Minardi don't do enough to leapfrog Arrows. Ferrari have done enough to stay ahead of McLaren. Ferrari goes up above onto 55 points. And then we've got the Sauber team finishing on 32 points. 32 points. And BAR finishing on 29. BAR getting the wooden spoon. And there's not a lot left for me to say now, other than thank you ever so much for watching Season 3 unfold. Season 4 will more than likely happen after a 2 to 3 week break. Mid-season, the end of season break, 2 to 3 weeks, we reckon. We'll go back to where it all began this season at the Silverstone Grand Prix in Great Britain. Rule changes galore, much faster cars. Hopefully we see more two-stoppers, because the two-stop races, this two-stop race produced so much action. And you're going to be in for a little treat at the end of the next season. If you like the French Grand Prix, we're going to see it twice. Michael Schumacher there. We're going through the final few cars. But all that's left for me to say is thank you ever so much for watching. And for the final time this season, goodbye.